Deep focus is something that is becoming harder and harder to achieve these days. There is a number of reasons for this, but a big one is the ever more abundant use of screens, addictive media, distractions and convenience at our fingertips. The constant use of screens, addictive apps like Facebook and Instagram, as well as the consistent consumption of convenience foods full of fat and sugar, is making it harder and harder for us to focus on the less stimulating tasks in our life that we have to do. This is known as the novelty bias, which is causing our brains to always seek novelty and stimulation, rather than the more important, less stimulating tasks that we have to do. It may be that we look at our phones as a distraction. We have several Chrome browser tabs open, causing distractions. Or we just go and look at what's in the fridge several times a day, looking for a sugary dopamine hit that's going to be more stimulating than the work we have to do. But the truth is that being distracted is only the symptom of the problem. The root cause is that our brains are overstimulated, which is causing us to be distracted. In this video, I will explore some ways to reduce the stimulation in our brains and the results this can have in our lives. Our lives are often dictated by the screens we look at. From looking at our phones as soon as we wake up, to sitting in front of a computer, iPad or TV screen, looking for entertainment and avoiding anything productive. If this sounds like you and you want to regain some focus in your life, try to be more intentional with your screen time. Schedule a 30-minute window during the day to look at your phone. Rather than picking it up and instinctively scrolling your Instagram feed every time your mind wanders, which is probably more often than you think. Allow yourself 30 minutes to look at the news, social media, and reply to WhatsApp messages. I know this sounds extreme in the world we live in now, but the effects it can have on your focus, even after just 2 weeks, is astounding. Research actually shows that it can take around 8 days for your brain to adjust and reduce the stimulation it needs to focus on something. Aside from just phone use, look at your diet as well. How much sugary, convenience or takeaway foods do you consume? Make a point to not buy any foods with loads of added sugar for just 2 weeks. Reduce your takeaway consumption to just once a month. Not only by doing this will you save a load of money, but your brain will readjust to the reduced stimulation and will actually start to enjoy the taste of healthier, more natural foods. Sure, this will have some long-term positive health effects, but short-term you will have more sustained energy without sugar crashes. Your brain will crave a sugary hit less as it readjusts to the lower stimulation it gets from blander, less sugary foods. So if the distraction of eating is not there, it will be far easier to get your brain to focus on something more productive. Chris Bailey talks about rediscovering boredom in a TED Talk, which I have linked in the description below. For just 1 hour a day for 2 weeks, find a boring task to do. Now Chris gives extreme examples like clock watching, being on hold to Air Canada, and counting all the zeros in the first 10,000 digits of pi. Of course, these extreme examples will have a fantastic effect on reducing your brain's need for stimulation, but you can opt for less pointless tasks. Instead of watching a clock tick for 1 hour a day, use this time to work on something that will benefit you, whether it is exercise, reading, meditation, or working on your business, career or side hustle. Even just sitting down without stimulation and letting your mind wander can be so beneficial. The results of this reduced stimulation can be massive. Even if the distractions are still there, your brain will be less addicted and dependent on them, and you'll be able to focus on less stimulating tasks for longer. Being able to focus on tasks for longer has the obvious benefit of the productivity itself. But it will also help you rediscover the flow state, which has been proven to bring so much more fulfillment and happiness into people's lives. Although scrolling through social media or watching Netflix feels great in the moment, it doesn't have any lasting fulfillment. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it at all, because we all need some downtime, but if those instant gratification activities are getting in the way of your productivity and overall fulfillment, then reducing them is a great way to bring back some purpose into your lives. Another big benefit of reducing our brain's stimulation requirements is an increase in idea creation. Without the constant stimulation, it gives our brains time to wander. As well as our phones being used as a distraction, we also use them to fill any moment in our lives that we aren't actively doing something else. At first, we should actively try to reduce our phone use in these moments. This can be achieved by reducing our phone use to 30 minutes per day, as I've already mentioned. So now, if we are waiting in line, or waiting to meet our friends, or just sitting on the sofa, we can let our minds wander. This is when idea creation and solutions to problems can be thought of. So much so, it may even be ironically beneficial to write the ideas you come up with on your phone to action them later. But if this serves as too much of a temptation, then you can use a pen and a notepad. Aside from more frequent and better ideas created from allowing your mind to wander, you may also notice that you start to make more plans in your life. When your brain isn't always distracted, it can think about your past, present and future and start to imagine scenarios that your current routine does not allow for. These plans can develop into goals and future projects that can introduce some real purpose and fulfillment into your life that your current job and distracted life would never have done. So starting with this 2-week challenge to reduce the distraction and stimulation in your life, you can start to build them into lasting habits that will serve you for years to come. Reading, meditating, exercising or working instead of looking at your phone should become the new norm and should build some momentum to create some more productive and healthy habits that keep your brain stimulation levels as low as possible. This will lead to so much more pleasure and flow state opportunities in the less stimulating tasks. From this, you will gain an improved attention span, which enables you to reach the flow state and achieve more with your time. It will also improve your creativity and idea creation when your mind is allowed to wander, rather than being stimulated and kept busy all the time. The freedom for your mind to wander will also allow you to develop more plans and goals for yourself, to push yourself outside your comfort zone, grow yourself further, and become an overall happier person. So if you found this video valuable, please like it and subscribe to Subconscious Theory for more content.